Culture. The best way to describe it for me are the simple definitions because they're easy for me to understand. It's the way we live. So culture shock is something that changes or shocks the way I live or we live. Well, for over 50 years of my life, I've been in schools, either as a student or a teacher. And I graduated high school from that fine higher institution of learning, Red Lion Area Senior High School. Corey? I'm getting no support here, but at any rate. And when I went to school, there were students in the building that I never saw. I didn't even know they went there. I had no idea. Then I went to college, and I became a teacher. And my first couple years of teaching, I knew those students were there, but I never saw them in my classroom. Matter of fact, my first year of teaching, I shared a room with the learning support teacher, and there was a foldable curtain that separated our room. So they were just on the other side of the curtain, but not in my classroom. Well, came a time that these students were, I don't have good words, integrated into regular ed classrooms. I had no training for that. I didn't know what to do. And shortly after that, I had a note in my mailbox to meet the principal in his office. I never liked going to the principal's office, not even as a teacher. And this was the days before email, so you know, books were carved in stone and so forth and all that kind of stuff. And we walked uphill to school and home on our hands over broken glass. All of you have heard that or probably said it. So I go down to the principal's office during my prep period. He wanted to tell me next semester they're going to put a student in my classroom named Timmy. I'm like, yeah, so what? I have students in my classroom all the time. Now, this student's different. Okay, they're all different. He's nonverbal. He also doesn't write. Okay. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? He goes, you're supposed to do what you tell me you try to do all the time. You do your best. Okay. All right. So Timmy showed up in my classroom, and truly by chance, he sat right up front. And the only thing I needed to have for Timmy was a bag of pencils, all kinds of pencils. Okay. I had a bag of pencils, and I gave him a textbook and a notebook just like everyone else. And I know he didn't write, but I gave him a notebook anyway because everybody else got one. And I didn't want to be different. I wanted to treat him just like everyone else. So, and his bag of pencils is on his desk. And I see Timmy using two of the pencils and making them move like legs as I'm teaching. And then every once in a while, like these pencils would jump up in the air and he would make some noises and so on and so forth. Well, I came to learn that when he made his pencils jump up in the air, that was him doing a little leap of joy. He was talking to me. He was happy. I don't know what he was happy about, but he was happy. He also taught me how to recognize when he was not happy because those pencils would be broken up into little pieces. He used a smaller pencil and put it between the two longer pencils and had it sticking out when he had to use the restroom. I guess that was his pee-pee. I don't know. As a matter of fact, that's what it looked like to me. So I would just point at the door and away he would go. He talked. He just talked a different language. So he was teaching me his language. I don't know if he learned anything, but I know I did. See, these students, which came to be my favorite group of students, I would take those over the AP and gifted kids every day, all day long and all year long. They taught me compassion because they had it. They taught me how to be friendly, which does not come easily for me. You're not supposed to laugh at that. That was not a joke. They taught me how to care. I learned so much from them. I don't know if they learned anything from me, but never once have I had a student come up to me and say, after they've been out of school for a while, "You remember that lesson on cellular respiration you taught? Man, that was the best." Not one time. And trust me, when I taught cellular respiration, I taught my ass off because it was really hard. That's not the things they remembered. So I learned all that stuff from these students who rode the short bus. I never saw them because they were on a different bus. I never saw them in the cafeteria. But I eventually had the pleasure of having them in my classroom, and it changed the way I look at things.